Ladies and gentlemen, joining me at this time was supposed to be Mike Knox, so I was told was sanctioned to be in the NWA, but Cardona, you're not really even supposed to be a party here. You've hospitalized members of the roster. You're not really welcome here. I'm just going to say this. People might not realize it, but Pope had to get stretchered out of here right after you intervened. Mike, I don't know what's going on between the two of you. I mean, I get this. I don't get this.
I have a question for you. How come you didn't play my entrance music? What? No music here in the NWA?
No, there's no music.
What's this about? I'm here in the NWA. And everybody wants to know why. You want to know why, right? You people want to know why? If you watch Hard Times 2, I made it pretty damn clear why. I was just here to see my buddy Trevor. We go way back, right? Me and Trevor like this. We used to ride up and down the roads together, even trained in the gym together. Well, I would go inside, he'd wait in the car. You know what I'm saying? And he just didn't seem happy to see me. I mean, I know I'm the toy guy. I'm the host of the major Wrestling for Your podcast. Is he upset that he hasn't had an action figure in over a decade? That's not my fault, Trevor. I don't make the toys, okay? But I was here for you, my good friend Trevor. Chelsea Green, my hot fiance, she works here. And my good friend, my best friend, Mike Knox works here too. See, Mike and I, we go way, way back. I've known this man for almost 2 decades and I do anything for him. So when the Pope sneak attacked him, I just had to get involved, right, Mike?
Absolutely, like a punk.
So let me ask you a question. After that, you just happened to walk over, loom over Trevor Murdoch as he's laying down and hold up the championship. You just happened to do that?
I just wanted to see if it weighed 10 pounds. I just wanted to see if it weighed 10 pounds. I would say it weighs about 10 pounds. I didn't have a scale. I would say, maybe 11 pounds. Mike, what do you think?
I'd go closer to 12.5. 12.5. It's heavy. I know when I picked it up, I almost blew my arm out again.
What is up, you beautiful people? This is Gary Horne, and this is the NWA. It's the show celebrating the past, present, future, history, legacy, and tradition of the greatest pro wrestling entity of all time. Of course, we're talking about the National Wrestling Alliance, and I'm joined by my co-host, Wil Martin and Dr. Stinson. What's up, guys?
Good evening.
What's going on, everybody?
I hear a baby crying. I assume that's something that Rob did.
Man, my mic is good. Is that mine or is that yours?
It's one of ours. I don't know, man.
Because I do hear Petra, but
living that hashtag dad life over here.
Oh, man, we were constantly trying to upgrade and make this show better and better, and including clips like that, what you just saw, Matt Cardona and Mike Knox in the NWA. That's a big deal. There's a lot of news coming out of this episode of Power. We've got more clips, more surprises, special guests, you name it. This is the post show for NWA Powerrr Season 7, Episode 2. We're glad you're here. Roy DeCaps, Marks, Willie Bowen, Front Row, Turbo, Todd, Freddie, Eric. I could name names all day long because there's a ton of you in there. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate every single one of you. And I'm going to show you something else we can do now. This is going to be really cool. Watch this. Eric Dell's late. He was here. Sorry I'm late. But now, look at that. If you say something nice, we can throw you up on the screen. That's fancy pants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's cool.
So Certified's here. Yeah, all of you. Good to see you guys. What's up, Jedi? All right, well, thanks for hanging out, and thanks for being a part of the post show. Let's dive right into this, I guess. I think I clicked on that, and I didn't mean to. Or did I?
I did.
That's Polio Del Mar, ladies and gentlemen. Polio is here.
Sorry. While you're giving shout outs, come on.
Yeah, how can I?
Can I do that, John?
I hope not.
Oh, no. I got access.
Oh, we're in trouble.
All right.
He figured it out.
Well, we got a lot to talk about with Cardona and everyone else, but I guess, first of all, the champ had a chance to speak right at the top of the episode today, and if you didn't have a chance to see that, let's hear from Trevor Murdoch and what he had to say.
Trevor, given everything that's happened, how do you feel about Mike Knox being here?
Since Mike Knox has stepped into the NWA, he's done nothing but cause carnage. He trapped me in a cage and he beat me with a steel chair. He's recently put Pope in the hospital. Mike Knox, you keep coming in here and trying to push the wrong people, and you're going to end up on the bad end of an ass whipping, that's for sure.
Yeah, and how do you feel about Matt Cardona showing up at Hard Times 2 unwelcomed and unannounced.
That seems to be Matt's MO. He shows up in companies randomly and decides he's going to put himself right on top. Well, Matt, I'm standing here right in front of you waiting. I'll take anything you got. Just make sure you be a grown-ass man about it and come at me direct, face to face. And I guarantee you at the end of the day, you'll have respect for the name Trevor Murdoch.
Strong words there from the champ, Trevor Murdoch. He is, I guess he's open to Cardona and Mike Knox being there, and I guess that's a good call because, as we'll find out in a little bit, I mean that's a big point of today's episode. But Doc, I guess as a traditional man, a historian, if you will, how do you feel about a guy like Cardona just walking in here and just like Mike Knox did this, and now Cardona's here and he's constantly calling out Trevor? Do you think a person like that gets to move right to the top? I didn't think you would, but we'll see.
I mean, but you're not taking Cardona at face value there. I mean, what did the man say? He's here to wish Trevor Murdoch congratulations. You know, they used to go to the gym together. Well, Cardona would go to the gym while Trevor would sit in the car. You know, he was here. It was a big occasion, and he was here to celebrate. So I don't know that he's seeking to jump right to the top. I think everybody might be jumping to what he did is a far cry from what Mike Knox did. Let me put it that way.
Good point. Will, you falling in that same category as Doc there?
You know, it might be an unpopular opinion, but you know, I really feel that one of the benefits of the NWA and one of the ways that the NWA shows respect to the wrestling community is they don't discount things that happen outside of the NWA. So when Matt Cardona shows up, whether he's invited or announced or whatever, he's got the clout that he has built over his career over the past 20 years. I mean, he's been Intercontinental Champion. He's been very popular. He's had some big matches. So I'm not saying that should automatically put him at the top, but I'm saying don't discount that. When you walk into a company like the NWA, you bring your entire wrestling history and your career with you, and that's the story with Mike Knox and Matt Cardona. So it's not in my opinion the best way to go about it. There's certainly more respectable ways to go about it, but I personally don't have a problem with them, showing up and being in the position they're in. That might be unpopular, but that's my mindset.
Let me add to that too, Gary. That he cited the fact that his fiance is Chelsea Green. Both of them have come in. She's come in and been very reputable, very honorable, very discreet about herself, and has gone about things the right way. And I don't know why Cardona would be any different. Birds of a feather flock together.
Well, that's a well said point, Doc. While we're on the side of you just getting things off that you agree with, I figure we might as well jump into strictly business opening up the show here. Tom Latimer, Camille, and Chris Adonis started us out, and those three, I'm sorry, Adonis and Camille kind of stepped aside, and Tom had a lot to say, and none of it was very nice.
Joined by Strictly Business right now, and Hard Times 2, just a short time away. We had Chris Adonis coming up, successful defense. Camille, successful defense. Tom, Nick.
Shut your mouth, Kyle. Step back. Nick Aldis. Nicky boy, you pulled it out the bag, didn't you? By the skin on your teeth. Some would say it was a fluke. Some would say it was by the grace of God that you sneaked out a victory on me, but don't think for a second, mate, that this is over. This will never be over. You don't just get to walk away. Oh, no. You don't just get to walk into the back and high-five that miserable old fart. That miserable old fart, Williams. You don't get to wander back to your mansion with your redneck wife and your snot-nosed little kid and just kick your feet up. That's not how this works. The day that this is over is the day that I run to the store and I pick up the Sunday Telegraph.
That's a paper in the UK, by the way. And I skip to the very, very back. And with a big old smile on my face, it reads, Nick Aldis is dead.
That it doesn't get stronger worded than that. Tom Latimer, I mean, wishing death on Nick Aldis, it almost seems like this is taking everything to a new level here. I mean, Nick may be trying to move on with the British invasion, but Tom Latimer is clearly not through with Nick Aldis. Doc, you condone that sort of speak from Tom Latimer?
Again, I mean, I don't know. I don't condone what your characterization of his speech. I don't wish death on anybody or bodily harm or anything like that. And I've been clear about this, whether it was regarding Mike Knox and the situation with Trevor Murdoch at by any means necessary. This is a sport; it's a gentleman's sport, and all that. But I think we owe Tom Latimer a little bit of latitude. He's been on this show just a few weeks ago, and his tone when he's not in the heat of the moment is much more balanced. We have to realize that these guys go back a long, long ways, and right now they're fighting hard. I don't think that when the temperatures are down and it's everybody is, the amygdala switch is not in fight mode. The amygdala there in the back of your brain that goes from fight to flight. I think when it's not in fight mode, he has a much more balanced appraisal of things. But obviously he was hot at that moment, and he said some things that he wouldn't normally say. And maybe he didn't mean it like we're in, like we're perceiving it here. A lot of people don't understand what what he referred to, the Sunday Tribune. Is that what he referred to?
Telegraph.
The Sunday Telegraph. Yeah, we don't read the Sunday Telegraph over here, at least.
You don't.
Unless you do it online or whatever.
Sounds like
I
read.
it.
Yeah, don't group everybody into your thing.
Yeah, but
I got to keep up with my football.
Yeah, true. No, I don't think that. I think that you gotta. We've seen Tom before. We've seen him express himself in very heated ways, and he's come back and walked that back a little bit. We're going to see something on this show later on where another star that you guys don't ever like to critique walk back a comment of hers, but you guys won't say anything. It'll take me to point that out. You got to take Tom as Tom. Tom is a hothead. These guys are brothers. Again, I've said it a million times. You know exactly what I'm about to say, right? My brother.
You got a scar here.
I got a scar on my head, man. I walked around with it for my life. I don't like to cover it up because I found out the chicks dig it. They make me look tough, But Tom does not wish death on Nick Aldis. Rather unfortunate choice of words. At least the way that we understand it. But I understand where Tom's getting at. I think what he's saying is that those two are as thick as blood, and their trajectories will continue to parallel, and they'll continue to be intertwined as long as they both live.
Yeah, I think there's the two things that were really clear, and to talk about the wording and some of the assumptions we can make. I personally didn't really interpret that as a threat as much as just him saying, as long as the two of them are both still alive, this feud will be active. This grudge will be ongoing. So I didn't necessarily interpret it as a threat. And you're right, everything you say about Tom, and he's a fierce competitor. I mean, there's a reason why he is where he is. And so, that is heat of the moment, but it's very clear. And we speculated a little bit about this last week, but it does seem like Nick has moved on. Seems like he's, got his reunion with Doug Williams, and they had a match last week that was stellar and well received from the wrestling community. And Tom has not moved on. And so, that's not surprising. He lost the match. He came up short. He probably still feels like he's got a score to settle. And, as long as they're both still walking the earth, I think that's going to be in the back of his mind, and he's going to be hot about it.
Well, we'll jump from one big group, one of the crews of the NWA Strictly Business, straight to another crew here. Let's talk about Idolmania Sports Management for just a second in association with Church's Money. We big moment there on the show tonight. We'll show you a clip really quick. Some promotions going on around Idolmania.
Total silence when we make this very. What are you putting your hand out for? Don't put your hand out. Don't put your hand out. Let me come on. Where is the Church's Money? This is a special presentation for the Church's Money that he has worked valiantly for, tirelessly for, has given it his all, showed 100%, what percentage of loyalty?
285% loyalty.
285% loyalty. And in lieu of that, I want to make a very special presentation to you. The church's money, Black G's. Now I can already feel the anticipation, the excitement building already. Just take your time. I know you think it's Christmas. I know you do. I know you do. This is strictly for you, sir. And if you'll look at it, feel free to take it out, remove it yourself. And if you don't mind, if you will read what it says on that very, very special award that you so deserve.
Announce it for me. Announce it for me.
You know what? I'd be happy to.
Would you like to?
I would be honored to. It always touches my heart to see these young pups growing up to be real killer dogs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. Kindness in my heart. It's kind of. Oh my gosh! It says.
Go ahead.
Executive Management Black Jeezy's Junior Executive. Congratulations. It's a name tag. It's his own name tag. It's his name tag.
But of Junior Executive of Idolmania Sports Management. Congratulations, brother. You earned it. You earned it.
And you know, now that the definition of fly, El Dinero de la Iglesia, the church's money, is a junior executive, and I take this with great pride. This means that I can go out there and sign and scout talent and give opportunity. So what I would like to do right now, I would like to announce the first signee of Church's Money Enterprises in conjunction with Idolmania Sports Management, a man who some may say has been held down a little bit in the NWA until now, Mr. All Day, Marche Rocket.
Oh, I like that. Oh, come on.
Congratulations.
That's actually huge news. Marche Rocket, a part of Idol Sports Management.
Hold it down.
Congratulations. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family.
You know what an epiphany is, Kyle? So when Sion came out here and said that he would do literally anything to get a rematch with Tyrus, that gave me an epiphany. Some breaking news.
Would you like to break the news right here, right now?
I sure would, Kyle. Cameraman, zoom in.
Come on in.
Sion,
You know how to? Zoom in.
you have something very special waiting for you. And you can find out next week on Power, the Church's Money edition. Know what I mean?
All right. Well, a big promotion in Idolmania Sports Management. And, well, we just couldn't let that go overlooked. We had to bring on the man himself. Black G's is joining us. Thanks so much for being here, sir.
Yo, the definition of fly, El Dinero de la Iglesia, the founder of Church Money Enterprises, junior executive of Idolmania Sports Management, Mr. TV Ready himself, the church's money, Black G's. What's good?
Oh, it's good to see you, man. I guess my first question right up front is going to be, when you asked Kyle Davis if he knew what an epiphany was, did you expect him to actually know?
No, I actually thought that I was stuck with Kyle Davis. I guess I can't doubt him. I can't doubt him anymore. But you know, Kyle knew what an epiphany was. An epiphany.
There you go. Well, congratulations, sir, on your big promotion in Idolmania and your first signing, like your first big signing, Marche Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
I got to ask you, what made you go with Marche Rocket?
Look at his size. Look at his ability. I mean, I would say that Marche was a little bit held down in NWA until we put eyes on him. So now, you know what I'm saying? I'm able to scout talent, give opportunity. And Marche Rocket was the first person I saw that I felt would be a great first signee to Church's Money Enterprises. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, geez, I've been on here week after week telling these bozos above me how brilliant a managerial mind you are, what a great wrestler you are, and that you in conjunction with Idolmania Sports Management is a force so powerful the world can't stand against it. I got to know, how vast is your empire going to grow? Are there other talent in the NWA right now that you're scouting, and will we see new additions to Idolmania Sports Management in conjunction with Church's Money here in the future weeks here on NWA Powerrr?
I say you definitely will. You got to keep watching. You got to stay tuned. But I definitely have my eyes on a couple more people. I got my eyes on a couple females that would be great additions to Church's Money Enterprises. You know what I'm saying? So in the weeks to come, in the months to come, it's going to get really interesting for Idolmania Sports Management and Church's Money Enterprises.
Now, you teased us a little bit there at the end. Kyle was offering some breaking news. You still kind of teased it with there's a big announcement for Scion next week, Church's Money edition of NWA Powerrr. Can you give us any more here on the post show? What we can expect out of that?
Well, you can expect some pain coming to Scion. I mean, let's two things that happen, right? At pay-per-view, Hard Times 2, Scion lost. Tyrus is still world television heavyweight champion. This guy, he just doesn't know how to quit. He doesn't know he doesn't know when to give up. So he said, he'll do anything to get a rematch. Okay, cool. So, Scion, you're gonna find out next week. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna just put it out there and tell you. You gotta, if you think that you can, if you're willing to do anything to beat Tyrus, you don't need to know. You'll find out next week. You feel me?
Oh, that makes total sense. Don't want to give it away ahead of time. Doc, did you have something else? You?
Oh no, I was completely agreeing. Scion, you guys were more than gracious with him. He had his shot. Tyrus left no mistake about why he is the world's television champion of the world. I have to say, get that world in there twice, just so we remind everybody that we're talking about a world's championship here. And you guys got a whole host of talent with great pedigree, from Jordan Clearwater, now with Marche Rocket, yourself, Black G's. We've seen you in the ring. Very impressive. Of course, in association with the brilliant mind of Austin Idol. Theoretically, you guys could go after any championship in the NWA, including the 10 pounds of gold, also the World Tag Team Championships.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we got everything covered. And going back to Scion real quick, he could have been with the team. He could have been with the family. He chose not to. So now he's going to pay for it. Now, I mean, look at us. You know what I'm saying? You got Marche Rocket on the streets. We call him Shay Rock. You know what I'm saying? You got the Golden Boy on the streets. We call him Tommy. If you know why, you know why. They can go after the tag titles anytime they want. Either one of them could go after the national title. Tyrus, you know what I'm saying? He can defend the television title all day long. You know what I'm saying? At some point, he's definitely going to go after those 10 pounds of gold. And, you know what I'm saying? Coming up, NWA USA, NWA reintroduced the junior heavyweight title. You know what I'm saying? This is a marathon, not a sprint. The Church's Money will be like the greatest person to lead that division. So, you know what I'm saying? And then also, I keep hearing rumblings about some 6-man titles going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Idolmania Sports Management, Church's Money Enterprises, we got everything covered. You know what I'm saying? We running things now. Nobody else, we are. You feel me?
Now, so
I do. Oh, go ahead, Gary. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, you slipped it in there real quick, and I just wanted to touch on one thing. NWA USA, you brought that up, starts on January the 8th. It's going to be a YouTube exclusive show. Fans are super excited to see the NWA coming back to YouTube, and that could mean a lot of exposure. Now, it sounds like Church's Money Enterprises has their sights set on that show. Do you see yourself and maybe your new client being a big presence on NWA USA?
Oh, I see us being a huge part of that show. NWA USA, January 8th. Yo, Church's Money Enterprises, Idolmania Sports Management. We going to knock down doors everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Every show, Powerrr, NWA USA. Expect to see us everywhere, shining like we do.
All right. And Daka, you had a question there.
Oh, no, I was just going to, going back to what you said about Scion.
How you always going to look like you're talking and then not say anything, and then I throw it to you, and then you ain't got nothing?
Well, a part of me is wanting Will to step in here. I don't want to step over Will. I know he's got a question or two, but I just wanted to point out something going back to what Black G said about Scion. Scion was a part of the company. He could have been smooth sailing right now with great things ahead of him. He wanted to get a little ahead of the, put the wagon before the horse, and he got a little zealous and it didn't pay out for him. But you are an example, Black G's, of the fact that Idol Mania Sports Management promotes from within. They took you, and now you're at the executive level. You're recruiting talent. You guys are at the peak of your power with only the stars ahead of you. Scion made a big mistake. What can we expect? If I'm hearing you correctly, within the next 2, 3, maybe 4 months out, you guys are going to own, operate, and manipulate every championship in the NWA. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's exactly what you're hearing. Exactly. We're gonna run everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me just say it again. At any time, we could take the World Tag Team titles. At any time, we could take the national title. At any time, Tyrus can go after the 10 pounds of gold. And at any time, the Church's Money, El Dinero, can go after that junior heavyweight title.
Yeah, and you mentioned, looking at a few of the ladies, we've talked about it a lot, that the women's division in the NWA is stacked, and we've got the Burke, the women's world championship, and now we've got the women's tag team titles. So there's a lot of gold on the women's side as well. And you mentioned, people you've got your eye on. I'm not going to ask you to spoil that here on this show, but I am wondering, with the way that the NWA operates, do you have a mindset that's also looking outside of the NWA and just pro wrestling in general? Okay.
Most definitely.
The doors in the NWA seem to be open to anyone. And President William Patrick Corgan, mentioned that tonight. So, I mean, there's a lot of options out there for you.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, look at things, man. The moment I walked into the National Wrestling Alliance, I said I had a plan. You know what I'm saying? And people wonder, well, what's his plan? What's his plan? Look at me now. You know what I'm saying? I stepped in, shined right away. Look at where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? You never know what to expect from the Church's Money. But obviously, I get it done. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm scouting. Like I said, I'm scouting a lot of talent. Talent that's in the NWA, that's on the NWA roster, talent that's not here yet. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay tuned and watch, see what we do. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about making money. It's all about shining, bro. You know what I mean?
Geez, you are the definition of fly. You are El Dinero de la Iglesia, the Church's Money. For those who might be just scrolling through YouTube and they come across and say, "Who is this gentleman right here? What is it? What is this Church's Money?" Can you tell the viewing audience a little bit about all those names that you earned and what you go by? How did you come about those names?
I came about them names doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to really get into all that right now, but let's just say I've done some things in my life. You know what I'm saying? I've done some things in my life. I'm experienced at a lot. I get it done. I know how to make money. I know how to make things happen. And that's what I've been doing in NWA, and that's what I'm going to continue to do in the National Wrestling Alliance.
It's hard to argue with your success with promoting and scouting talent. I mean, a lot of people hated the fact that you took a guy like the Golden Boy, Jordan Clearwater, under your wing and brought him along with you. Like that they, I think everybody expected Jordan Clearwater to be the babyface pretty boy and go out there and win over the fans. And you kind of, you flip those expectations on people, and Jordan Clearwater has excelled since. So it is hard to argue with your success rate. I got to know too, just on that with Jordan, with Marche, is G's focus more on the talent scouting thing, or is G still interested in stepping in between the ropes himself and getting things done?
I'm definitely interested in stepping in the ring, you know what I'm saying? Because right here at Church's Money Enterprises, we can show you and we can tell you, you know what I'm saying? So at any time when I want to step into that ring, I'm going to shine like I always do. We already know that I'm the man that's choosing talent and leading them in the right direction. So, you know what I'm saying? Just got to stay tuned, bro. Because whenever I step in that ring, you're going to see exactly what the definition of fly can get done in that ring, you know?
Geez, is if you're reading the periodicals, and I'm not talking about the dirt sheets, I'm talking about the respectable magazines like Rolling Stone, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, Sports Illustrated. When they talk about you, they draw comparisons to guys like Jay-Z, to guys like Justin Timberlake. You know, moguls that have their hands in all kinds of different ventures. You're a professional wrestler. You're a manager. You're a talent scout. You're an executive. Are there other business ventures that we can see or expect to hear from you in here in the city? Do you have interest in venturing into music, into other professional sports? How is Church's Money Enterprises going to expand, and what can we expect?
So you got to keep your hands in different pots. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to have my hands in this, and this. I know how to make money, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm going to continue to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you mentioned Jay-Z. This dude is a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like cats like Jay-Z, Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Church's Money, Black G's. We know how to get things done, and we know how to generate money. You know.
All right, geez. Well, I can say from the chat and just from the chat on Fight Today and just everywhere, you've certainly got everyone's attention, and anybody who doubted you has come around now. And you're one of the highlights of NWA Powerrr to see what you, along with your cohorts in Idolmania Sports Management, do. So certainly the Church's Money. But we just want to thank you for your time here.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. I love it when people doubt me. I love it. You know what I'm saying? That makes me, oh my God, bro. Yo, when people doubt me, that's when I shine more. You know what I'm saying? I like to stick it to you. You doubt me, and now look. You know what I'm saying? You doubt me, and then, you know what I'm saying? What's it saying? You eating crow now. You know what I'm saying? Now y'all all on my top right now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's talking about the Church's Money. Everybody's talking about Idolmania Sports Management. Everybody is talking about my entire squad. Don't doubt me. Matter of fact, keep doubting me. Keep doubting me. That's what I'm talking about. I love that shit. Keep doubting me.
All right. Well, certainly I won't be doubting you, G's, but yeah, keep doing what you're doing, man. It's good to see your success, and we hope to have you on again sometime soon. Thank you so much for your time. I know time is money.
Time is money, and the new junior executive of Idolmania Sports Management has money to give. So, gentlemen, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in a minute. Know what I mean?
Yep. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks, sir. All right. Well, we want to give thanks to G's there for showing up on the show. Did not mean to get him fired up there at the end.
Hey.
I think
Rob
kind of fluffed him up talking about Rolling Stone articles, and then I mentioned somebody doubting him. That was bad call on my part, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got to respect it, and I mean, him going out and getting Marche Rocket. One thing that I definitely agree with is, I don't think we've seen even a piece of what Marche Rocket is capable of in the NWA. And so it's just another layer, and I'm intrigued by who he's looking at, specifically from the women's side. I mean, if their goal, like most factions, is to, collect all the belts, there's the tag champs on the women's side and the world championship. So it's intriguing to see, and rest assured we'll see some new signees soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's and Rob, you brought up an interesting thing like during that interview, and G's is obviously already looking everywhere. But you and I think Will actually, you kind of hit on it, just the doors are open. So you can look even outside of the National Wrestling Alliance, which is something that has been critiqued in the National Wrestling Alliance, really. And Billy Corgan kind of set those expectations up today when he came out and he gave a speech indicating that, Cardona and Knox, who people had questioned being there, that they are, in fact, sanctioned wrestlers, and he's approved them being in the National Wrestling Alliance. He says he's getting a lot of heat in the backstage for that, but I'm just curious what you guys think about that.
Well, you go ahead, Doc. I'm sure you have a lot to get off your mind.
No. Go ahead, Will.
No, I mean, there's two sides to it, and not to try to be neutral, but I can see both sides of it. I can see people being angry. I can see the locker room being angry. But at the same time, I think I think President William Patrick Corgan is trying to run the NWA the way a wrestling promotion or an organization should be run. And you know, it's not, we're talking about fighters here. We're talking about guys, we talked about it a minute ago with Tom Latimer. These are guys that are fired up and they react and they're competitive. And so, you know, you've got guys showing up like Mike Knox did in Kentucky and Matt Cardona coming out like he did at Hard Times too. And, you know, the best thing for everyone, the fans and the competitors, really is to let those guys try to settle it in the ring. And so I think President Corgan did the right thing by sanctioning those guys and letting them take part. And but at the same time, I can understand why that would get him heat backstage and why some of the guys wouldn't want him there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, it's about competition. And you know, he said it on Busted Open Radio. He wants the biggest and baddest, and you know, you got to say that's what he's getting with a guy like Mike Knox.
A few weeks ago, I've got mixed feelings on this. Okay, and it's not about President William Patrick Corgan and my feelings about him or not, but I do remember a few weeks ago back at the Chase and a few episodes before the pay-per-view or whatnot, where President Corgan was out there ridiculing Tom Latimer, and he was saying it's about wrestling. We are a wrestling company. You remember that episode?
I do remember that.
Okay. So suddenly, though, when it comes to Mike Knox, that's no longer about wrestling. Mike Knox stormed into a steel cage, beat the daylights out of Trevor Murdoch, threw his kid around, beat him into oblivion, and he rewards him with a championship match. It wasn't about wrestling then. So let me just point out that President Corgan has shifting goalposts when it fits his agenda. Nevertheless, at the end of the day, I have to agree with Will. Not in the sense that you know that everything's been hunky dory and all about wrestling and this and that, but I think the NWA, like when we were talking with Jesus a few moments ago, the NWA opens the doors to the best talent in the world, and only a fool would deny that Mike Knox and Matt Cardona are not among the best in the world. And if they're going to find a home, I'd rather it be in the NWA. I'd rather it be the right way, but I'd like it to be in the now. Matt Cardona, I don't have an issue with. Mike Knox's tactics a little bit more difficult, a little bit more problematic. But if they're sanctioned, if they're going to wrestle, if they're going to come in here under gentlemen's rules, vie for championships, work their way up the contenders ladder, I don't have a problem with it. I can support President Corgan on this.
Well, and I think too, I mean, it's not like Mike Knox came in and, you know, the only issue I take with what you just said is, you know, there's one side of looking at it where he came in and he got rewarded with a championship shot. I mean, it was a challenge that was issued that Trevor Murdoch accepted. And I'm sure at any point Trevor could have said, no, I'm not taking this match. And, you know, President Corgan would not have sanctioned him to wrestle in the NWA. So the whole goal is when something like this happens, yeah, okay, it's crazy that it happened and this attack out of nowhere in front of his kid and all that stuff. But if Trevor Murdoch, as he should, takes issue with that and wants to settle it in the ring, I think it's the right thing to do for President Corgan to sanction it and have a match, just like they did at Hard Times too.
You're right. That happened not because of Corgan, in spite of Corgan. It took Trevor Murdoch's valiance as a fighting champion to rescue Corgan on that. Okay, it wasn't because, you know, Corgan had some generosity in his heart for this and that. Trevor Murdoch wanted the shot. The president of the company granted it, and that's to his credit. But it's not because of his instincts; it's in spite of them.
Let's just let him.
Okay, I was muted. Sorry. I was being respectful and letting Doc finish his thought. But yeah, so you know, Patrick just echoing a lot of points we've made here, and so good to see you there, and it's good to see you too, Patrick. A lot of stuff happened on this show, so we could spend all day talking about these guys, and we're going to come right back around to them. But if you're a fan of tag team wrestling, and I know Will is, there was a lot of tag team wrestling on this show. We had a big tag match showing Aron Stevens and Kratos, the former NWA Tag Team Champions, taking on the newly formed team. I guess this would be their power debut in ring of the Dirty Sexy Boys, DSB. And that That was quite a match.
And that was actually our original name before we landed on the Bearded Trio. So
yeah, it's weird.
We're just
glad we don't have to compete because those guys
that
would
would
probably
be
have
weird.
to.
There'd
Yeah,
be
it would be
confusion
awkward.
and,
Yeah, people see JTG and Dirty Dango, and then they see us and be like, which one's really the dirty, sexy boys?
If we were, which one of us is dirty, which one's sexy, and which one's boy? I want to know the answer to that.
I'm sure the chat will decide for us.
I'm a big fan of this team up, but unfortunately, their debut matchup on NWA Powerrr, they were going up against the former tag champs, and since Hard Times 2, a reestablished former tag team champions. Like these guys, a change has gone through Stevens that Kratos has been begging for. I'm sorry, now we I guess would know him as Kratos.
Yes.
Has been begging for, and so the former champs pick up the win. I had a chance with you guys to catch up with them in the back right after this matchup. I'm in the back with Aron Stevens. You guys had an awesome match tonight. Looking better.
Get out the way. Oh my God. That is what I'm talking about, baby. The W, man. It'll work. It'll work. It's good, man. Did you see that shit?
I saw it.
That's on point, dog. Yes. Yeah.
This is proof that I have never been better. Getting W's, racking them up. Yeah.
What?
And doing it the right way, I might add. Civility at any cost. W all day.
All day. What? Hey, what he said.
I would just like to point out that during that interview, Kratos lightly shoved me, and I still almost pooped my pants. Like it was a very scary moment for me when he shoved me.
He did. I heard it. Like I heard the
the popping,
the pooping.
Now we know which one's dirty.
Oh, hey.
This is what's gonna not help us keep this job.
This is what people tune in for. This is why they watch.
Are we feeling like this new change in Stevens is the thing the NWA needed? Would love to know from the chat and you guys. Will, as a tag team fan, does this renew your hopes or if they were ever gone, that Kratos and Aron Stevens could be NWA tag team champions once again?
I like that. Again, this is the most together that we've seen them, and they were tag team champs for a long time. So I think it's definitely in their favor, and it's obvious talking to him. You could see it there. You could see it in when they talked to May Valentine shortly after that they seem to be on the same page. They may not connect on everything. They're not. They don't have the same hobbies and interests and stuff like that. But what matters is when you get in the ring and if you can work together, and they seem to have the same mindset focused on the W. And so if that's what gets it done, then I would definitely mark them up as someone to keep an eye on in the tag team division to regain those titles.
Sorry, man. My boo Pollo Tomorrow got me cracking up over here.
So, was it?
It's for the chat. Okay, well, we'll put it up there. We don't care around here. We're the dirty sexy trio.
I like that. The dirty sexy trio.
Dirty sexy bearded trio.
Another thing that happened. Well, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Whatever. Go ahead. I gotta compose myself.
I'm trying to move this show along, and you want to focus on the wrong things right now. You're trying to focus on the O-ring.
I'm trying to focus on tag team
squared circle.
I'm trying to focus on tag team wrestling right here.
There you go.
We're trying to focus on the squared circle, not the O-ring. You know what I'm
just saying. I think Aron Stevens and Kratos is good. That's all. That's all I want to say. They're good. They're gonna get the championship belts back.
And I guarantee you, this is not the last we've seen out of the Dirty Sexy Boys. This was just a false start. They're going to pick back up here, I'm sure. Those two guys were hanging around a lot backstage. They're looking to dominate the tag division. So I look forward to seeing what they do. Next up, I just wanted to mention also, Church's Money mentioned it. G's talked about it. The 6-man division. There's these rumors floating around the NWA. If you guys haven't heard of it, there's this talk about a 6-man division. And Polio, you got to stop.
Polio
that chat,
is derailing the show.
Anyway, there's rumors of a 6-man division or something happening. G's was assuming titles, and I don't know. We don't know anything here on the post show, but we know that the rumors appear to be true. G's knew about it, and the end was out during a segment on the show tonight, and they have added Jax Dane to their group. Size matters, says Pero. Joe Galley even calling it Monster Island, which I think would be an awesome name for a faction. But if the End and Jax Dane are teaming up, I mean, what does that mean for the rest of the roster?
So, I mean, I'm thinking, like, are they going Freebird rules? Is this strictly a 6-man thing for this new division they've hinted at? Man, the possibilities are endless. I'd like to know, like, maybe the chat can chime in. What are some alternative names? I like Monster Island. What are some other things that we could call this faction? Because they were alluding to it. How is it possible? How in the world is it possible that the End just got bigger?
Yeah, and that's what, and I think Joe Galley even mentioned that. I mean, and it's definitely completely out of left field. I mean, personally, I love the End, and I think they've always been focused on tag team stuff, even to the point, we've heard it said, I think President Corgan's even said to us before that, when Odinson was going to wrestle in a singles match, he didn't want to do it because they are such a tight, cohesive tag team and they work together, and that's why they're here. So it's out of left field for them to add a third member. But I can tell you, if you told me, hey, the End is going to add a third member, who's it going to be? I don't think Jax Dane would have been on that list. Jax Dane would have ended up on that list for me. But now after seeing them together, I'm like, man, look out. Like this is a force to be reckoned with. So
it's going to be an interesting topic to see if, like, Polo's talking about the End plus Jax for 6-man titles would be great. I mean, it would be interesting to find out if that's really a thing that's going to happen for the NWA. We'll have to put some feelers out there and see what's going on. But, I don't know if we need more titles in the National Wrestling Alliance, but if that's the case, I mean, the End and Jax Dane might be my number one pick, number one draft pick for who would get those.
I think the NWA is an organization, and I'm not going to draw direct comparisons to other promotions. That's not what we're here to do. But they're an organization that introduces or reintroduces titles based on necessity. They don't put the cart before the horse, to use that analogy again, and they don't say, hey, we're going to have these titles and then go try to get people. And so I think there's rumblings about 6-man tag. I feel like there's enough already groups of 6-man. I mean, you've got Strictly Business. They could add somebody, and Tom and Chris could go at it. You've got British Invasion. They could add somebody. Luke and PJ. All the tag teams, I mean, they could easily add another member and be in that picture. But you've also got, just like Black Jesus was talking about, you've got Idolmania Sports Management, and they've got 3 guys in there they could pull together for that. I mean, there's a ton of possibilities. You've seen La Rebellion with Homicide wrestling 6-man tag matches. They're obviously closely aligned and teamed up. So, I mean, it's something that if there's enough of that going on, I feel like the NWA would entertain the idea of throwing those titles into the mix. But I don't think it's something they're gonna just do and then try to build a division around it. I think it would be a necessity before those would be introduced.
One thing without a doubt is something is in the works with the 6-man or trios teams. So we'll have to stay tuned and find out. I assume we're going to find out more as NWA Powerrr continues. Let's talk about 2-on-2 again, though, because we had another defense by the women's tag team champions. Allison Kay and Marty Bell, the Hex, took on perhaps their biggest challenge to date when they battled with Mickie James and Kiera Hogan, former rivals or still rivals. There's a lot to talk about there, a lot to unpack. But these two stepped in the ring with the Hex to go for the women's tag team titles. And unfortunately, some miscommunication. It felt like there at the end, both women going up top, and the Hex able to capitalize on that. And they hit Kiera Hogan with their finisher and got the 1-2-3. The Hex retain once more. And luckily, we were able to catch up with Kiera Hogan backstage and get her thoughts right after the match, which we should say ended kind of their partnership seems to have ended abruptly, I guess is the best way to put it. I'm in the back right now with Kiera Hogan. And Kiera, you've had the chance in the NWA to face your idol, Mickie James, and now you've been teaming with her. And just wanted to get in your mind a little bit. What's going through your thoughts right now?
I mean, like you said, I have been dreaming of this my whole life, like literally my whole life, to not only face her, but then to face her for the Impact Knockouts title. It's such an iconic title, I never thought. But then to team with her for the NWA Women's World Tag Team titles, man, literally a whirlwind. I'm just trying to enjoy the ride for what it is, but Mickie, as much as I like to take her lead, sometimes I feel like she can mislead me. Like what happened tonight. I mean, I trust her judgment, I respect her as a professional and as well as my idol, but I don't know what it was. I don't know if maybe she got too ahead of herself. I don't know if maybe I put too much trust in her in that moment for those titles. Maybe I should have just went with my intuition instead, but at the end of the day, I love her, and I just want us to be able to get on the same page so maybe we can, once again, have that opportunity to go for those tag titles and, you know, maybe put some gold around my waist because I feel like I deserve it, I feel like we deserve it, and I feel like the fans deserve it. So, we'll see.
So a little update based on that ending. I mean, at the end of that match, Kiera seemed very upset and left the ring, and the partnership seemed to be that it could be over, but maybe not. Maybe they're going to work out those differences. I guess we're going to have to stay tuned and see. But yeah, I'm just. What did you think of Kiera's thoughts there, Will?
Well, first of all, obviously the big story is talking about Kiera and Mickie, and that's an iconic relationship. They go way back, and there's a lot to talk about there. But I want to first acknowledge the Hex, because I would love for anyone to show me a champion in all of wrestling right now that has defended their belts more than the Hex has since becoming champions at Empower. They have defended those belts successfully so many times. So massive props to them. And this is a high profile match. I mean, any match as a champion, you have to take the challengers as a threat because they want gold and you're not, sure what they're willing to do to get it. But, as far as matchups go for them, I mean, you're in a match with Mickie James, the current Knockouts champion. And then somebody who has idolized her for her whole life, basically, and Kiera Hogan. So this had to be a tough match for them, and to go in there and really be confident and to come out with a win, that's got to do a lot for them. But yeah, when you're talking about, this stuff with Kiera and Mickie, I think this kind of harkens back to what Doc talks about with brotherhood. I think it's the same way with their relationship where, there's a mutual respect, and certainly Kiera looks up to Mickie. But, there's always some chinks in the armor a little bit, and you can start to see things. I mean, they've already feuded and had a match, and they're trying to get on the same page, but sometimes, getting on that same page is hard. And I think that's what we saw tonight. So, you heard it from Kiera. She'd love for them to continue to team up and maybe have another opportunity. But we don't know if that's what's going to happen. I mean, it might get to a point where they might need to try to settle their differences again in the ring.
Before we let Doc speak on the whole thing, you made an excellent point there too. Let's not gloss over the fact with the Kiera and Mickie drama that the Hex defended yet again successfully and are still your women's world tag team champions. And we had a chance to catch up with them as well after this match. Standing in the back with the reigning and constantly defending women's tag team champions, Marty Bell and AK the Hex. Again, tonight, another big win. You guys must be defending these titles more than any other champion, I think, in the National Wrestling Alliance. And against now Mickie James and Kiera Hogan, a big win. How are you guys feeling right now?
Ooh, this is my first time wrestling Mickie. I mean, it is a big deal. I mean, we all know your obsession. You're very open about it. And I'm glad that you could focus and pull through this match.
Yes, I did apologize for hitting her really hard one time, but that just goes to show how important these championships are to us, how much they mean to us, that I would literally hit one of my idols, just pop through in the face. But from day one, the Hex has said that we are defending champions. Quien sea, donde sea, cuando sea. We're going to take anybody who wants to come for our titles.
Even if that means Mickie James.
And we're just going to have to extinguish the competition.
I am always freaked out when Doc zooms in right there on the belt, always at the end. It's always on the title. So I'm like, what are you doing, man?
We were at By Any Means Necessary, and I'm trying to get footage of the Hex during the fan meet and greet. And they are looking back, and it's like, I hope they don't think I'm some kind of creeper. I hope they know that I'm doing this for the show, you know. But when I zoomed in on that belt, I was like, man, I hope she doesn't think I'm trying to, to be creepy or anything like that. But
it's all about the titles, man.
It's all about the title for sure.
As Naughty says, very exciting. We asked about this, by the way, everybody, and apparently they have a whole list. So get ready for that. They have pages of hex puns.
The hex puns are going to be as consistent as their title defenses.
Polio DeMar, they were talking about AK gonna chop Doc in the throat, to which I would say, Hex, Hex, yeah. May I please have another throat shot? Anytime, AK can throat chop me anytime, man. Anyway, we just woke up, and we've said this or something along these lines before. We just woke up, and the women's tag team division now is one of the most elite in the world, and they are among the they're like Camille. They're unfreaking beatable. They defend it over and over again. They don't get, the widespread adulation and respect that they deserve. That's coming. And the more that they continue to defend and fight as fighting champions should, the more that respect will come. Nothing but the best in store for the Hex. They're going to be champions for a long, long time. I just don't see any team. You got lots of talent, but even when it comes to like some of my favorites, like any combination of Genocide and anybody else, I just don't see anybody with the cohesion to take the championships from this well-oiled machine, this well-seasoned tag team, these two women who know each other so well, Marty Bell and Allison Kay. They're the best tag team in the world right now for women's wrestling, bar none. I like them a lot. They're going to hold these championships, like I said, for a long, long time. Now, over to Kiera and Mickie James. You said it earlier, Will, that their relationship is iconic. I think that's overstating it. I think it might be iconic in the sense that anything that Mickie James touches is iconic. Kiera Hogan is young. She's got a lot to learn. My man Roy Caps pointed out, my girl Noni McPony said it. Kiera's throwing tantrums, and Mickie James needs to put her in check. She's paying her dues. She's an all-elite talent. She's a world-class athlete. But right now, she's being a little bit disrespectful to Mickie James, to the opportunities that's been afforded to her. And you don't just get to wake up one day and decide, oh, I've been working really hard, and so all the things should come to me. No, it takes years and years and years and years. There have been men that have ventured in this business for years and years. Men like George South, Tracy Smothers, who spent their whole careers wrestling at, on the independent circle, then through the mid-tier, before they ever got recognized as championship caliber, quality legends of this sport. Kiera's got time. She's got a vast amount of potential. But like Noni McPony said, she is tantrumy. Like Roy Cap said, Mickie needs to put her in check. Yes, is that relationship iconic? It is iconic, but for one reason, because of Mickie James. That's the only reason.
All right. Well, yeah, I just love this one from Polio. Doc tried to hexplain Appalachian of Bianca Corelli at dinner in St. Louis. I can't even hexplain how hextra it was. And that just seems like such a Doc thing to do. So I was just happy to see that. I don't even remember that, but that feels totally accurate. I don't even need to fact check that. All right. Well, the other big thing tonight was, of course, Mike Knox and Matt Cardona making their impact felt after they were approved by William Patrick Corgan to appear. Mike Knox and Cardona showed up, and you saw that at the top of the show. the discussion that they had, and unfortunately, they were not very remorseful about the situation with Pope, who legitimately was taken in the hospital after hard times too, and that was a serious situation we were all concerned for, and we still send our best wishes to Pope and look forward to his event. Also on January 8th, it's a big day in the NWA. I mean, that's going to be the Love Alive charity presents the Duval Brawl. That's going to be there. We hope Pope as well and able to make it there. You get a bunch of NWA talent in action that night. And then also that same day, the debut of NWA USA. So you don't want to miss that big day, January 8th, for the National Wrestling Alliance. But all of that out of the way, Cardona, Knox, not apologetic at all. They end up, Mike Knox calls out anybody, I think thinking that nobody would dare. And of course, one of our favorite blue chippers in the National Wrestling Alliance steps up, and that's Mims. Big, strong Mims comes in, and he is unhappy with the way Mike Knox and Matt Cardona are handling things, and accepts the challenge and goes toe-to-toe with Mike Knox. I'll give him a lot of props. He took it to Mike Knox as best he could. Unfortunately, Mike Knox was just a little too much for him in this occasion, and he gets the victory. And so a lot more gloating to come from Mike Knox and Matt Cardona, so it seems, Will.
Yeah, this was a big heated situation. You've got two, newcomers that are seemingly not very welcome with the rest of the locker room and the rest of the NWA roster or the commentators or Kyle Davis, as was very obvious in their interactions. And coming out and not only, issuing an open challenge, but just openly kind of mocking, the fact that they put Pope in the hospital, and that, even accusations that he's faking. I think all three of us can attest to the fact that he wasn't. It was a very serious situation, and we were all really concerned. But that doesn't do well, and I'm sure they're not there to make friends. And they're not going to make friends, it doesn't seem like. And so you got a guy like Mims, big, strong Mims, and, he's in the back, and he's not going to take that. I mean, Mims is an NWA guy. He's been here since season 1. He's been part of NWA Powerrr since the beginning, and he's got a lot of loyalty, not only to the NWA, but to Pope, because Pope has been instrumental in helping raise up everybody in the locker room, not just himself. And we can all vouch for the story that, before Hard Times 2, Pope was coming up to us asking for donations to the Love Alive charity. He wasn't there promoting himself. He was there selflessly, looking to raise money for his organization and the things that he's involved in. And then for that to happen was just super disheartening. So this felt a lot like insult to injury, literally. And Mims just wasn't going to stand for that. And I respect Mims a lot for what he did, for coming out and defending not just Pope's honor, but really the NWA and the locker room and all of that. And he just came up short. I mean, Mike Knox and Matt Cardona are here to wreak a little havoc, and they seem to be doing that.
Yeah, it's Will's not exaggerating, and neither was Mims. And that's I don't want to pretend to be a wrestler, but again, as they would say, that's a shoot, brother. Pope was back there collecting donations for his charity. He was so excited about the Love Alive charity, Duval Brawl 4, January 8th, Jacksonville, Florida. If you guys are in that area, you should definitely go to it. He's put Trevor Murdoch defending the title against Gangrel. Jamie Stanley's going to be there. Sal Renaro. I think The End is going to be there. JTG. Just a lot of folks going to be there from the National Wrestling Alliance. So we want to help continue to promote that as much as we can. But yeah, that's for real. Pope, we wish him the best, because we want to get him back on his feet so he can participate as well in that charity event. All right. Go ahead, Doc.
Oh, no. Yeah, man. We brought the man coffee. We never even got to give it to him, man, because all that stuff went down. He was Pope cares. He someone mentioned in the chat, he is always promoting that. He as mission focused as he is on attaining championship gold in the NWA, becoming the holder of that prestigious 10 pounds of gold. he is just as committed to his community. He is a very beloved community figure and leader down in Jacksonville. And, best of wishes to him on a speedy recovery. I know he's well right now, but you spend some time in the hospital for something like that, it's going to take a little bit of time to get back to 100%, but he will. And, real talk, we think nothing but the best of Pope and hope all the best for him in the future.
Well, as much as we'd rather probably talk about Pope and all the good he's doing, we did also manage to catch up with Mike Knox and Matt Cardona after their matchup with Mims tonight. And, they were exactly what you'd expect them to be like. Guys, big win for
What a victory. Here is your winner, Big Mike Knox.
Oh, baby, that was fun.
Why did anyone accept that open challenge? I mean, we were kind of kidding. We didn't think anyone would accept, right?
We tried to warn you. Don't come out. Let me go.
But he was crying. Oh, Pope! Oh, Pope! We're to the hospital. Pope's probably faking.
Pope is full of it.
He's full of... I can't even say that here.
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can. Can we say that here?
But
Probably
y'all know
not.
what I mean. You all know what we're about to say.
You all know what
It's
Pope
a
is
dirty
full
curse
of.
word.
Pope put his hands on my best friend.
Yeah, nothing.
I personally don't have a problem with Pope. I don't have a problem with anyone here. I'm just
Neither.
here to see my good friend Mike. My fiance Chelsea Green is here, and Trevor Murdoch. Listen, we were like this back in the day. I mean, we used to train together, wrestle together, party together. I haven't seen him in like 10 years. No offense, but I wanted to congratulate him on that big win. No offense.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
And then he's yelling at me. He's screaming at me. I mean, his teeth. He was like scaring me.
Yeah,
Trevor,
he gets fired up.
What's the deal, man? I just came here.
Angry.
I'm so busy. And I came here to see you. I took time out of my busy schedule to personally congratulate you, say hi to you, hug you, shake your hand.
Yeah.
And you disrespect me?
Yeah. Hold on. You know what? Since they won't do it, I will do it.
I like it.
Thank you, Matt Cardona, one of my oldest friends in the world. Thank you for coming to NWA.
Yeah.
For trying to open the lights for these people. This place is going down.
No entrance music.
No entrance.
No entrance. You know how much
How
money
are you
I paid
supposed
for
to
that
get
music?
The people fired up.
I paid so much money for that music, and we couldn't even play. Well, I have so much. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter.
I was going to sing it when you came out, but they're not worth that.
Mike,
Don't give
give
away
me
something.
a big hug.
Trevor,
Trevor, this could have been you, Trevor. This could have been you.
You know,
but it's not.
Yeah,
and
but
Pope,
it ain't.
Pope probably in some hospital bed watching this, watching Power, crying again.
He's probably. He's probably on
You
his
threw me
couch.
into the ring steps.
I think he's on his couch with his feet up, drinking a little Mai Tai, thinking he pulled one over on the boys.
Not us.
Not
Ain't
us, bro.
fooling us.
Not in this lifetime, baby.
Exactly what you'd expect from Mike Knox and Matt Cardona. There they are, still taunting Pope, still taunting Trevor. Matt Cardona has been on quite. If you haven't been paying attention online and followed him on Twitter and Instagram, he's been on quite the crusade lately, saying that he is here to save the National Wrestling Alliance and believes he is the savior. Like that he's the thing that's going to turn the company around and make it bigger than ever. Got to ask you guys, do you feel the same way? Doc, I'll throw to you first on that one.
I think their presence, with Mike Knox, his entrance was not the way that I would like it, but I think that he adds a lot of depth to this roster. And I think Cardona, anytime he comes, anywhere he goes, I think he's important. He's still relatively young. He's accomplished a lot in his young career, but I think anybody who watches this sport and knows talent will say that the sky's the limit for him too. So again, like we said at the top of the show, I'm not, where I stand when it comes to decision making and the motives behind President William Patrick Corgan's decisions. But at the end of the day, his decision to sanction them and to stand by it in spite of the fact that it was not a popular decision backstage, and the three of us were backstage. That's not a lie. It's not popular. We heard a lot of the grumblings and a lot of the talk and this and that. But I've got to say that I think on this point, I think the president's right.
I think that the NWA is the place where these guys want to be. And, the fact that, as we mentioned, the doors are open and they can come in and, whether they should be straight at the top of the card or work their way up, that's a whole separate conversation. But the fact remains, these are guys that are experienced. These are guys that have had, accomplished careers and have made names for themselves, and they want to be part of what's going on in the NWA. And the mountaintop of the NWA is the 10 pounds of gold. So again, it may not have gone about it the way that I would have gone about it. I mean, I'm not a wrestler, so I don't know how I would have gone about it. I probably would have run away scared. But whether it's the way that we would prefer or not, the fact is that they're here, and we're going to have to let it play out, hopefully in the ring. And I know along the way we're going to hear a lot from these guys, especially Matt Cardona. He likes to share his thoughts and be heard. And so that's just kind of what you get with it. But I think we're gonna be able to see this settled in the ring. Hopefully, I know that's what President Corgan wants. I know that's what we as the hashtag NWA fam want. And then the unfortunate thing about all this is that before these two guys showed up, you would have to believe, the two people that I would have seen as next in line for a shot at the 10 pounds of gold would be the Pope and Jax Dane. I mean, these were two guys that obviously had their sights set on it. And the unfortunate circumstance now is that, those guys are on the back burner. Pope literally, is injured and out of the picture at this point. And so that's the unfortunate byproduct of all this, is that, those guys were kind of had their sights set on it, and now that's been derailed a little bit.
Very interesting. And Caps pointing out in the chat, whatever it takes to get people on the NWA Powerrr bandwagon, I'm down. I mean, that's the argument. You saw Front Row's comment there posted in the chat, and I see a lot of you guys talking about it. I mean, the idea that Cardona is a name. Cardona does bring eyeballs, so that's going to be.
And let's not forget. Let's not forget that Cardona is one of the few people who've actually beaten Nick Aldis. Now, granted, it was on Retromania, but he's got a documented win against Nick Aldis. So,
was that when you were controlling Nick Aldis?
Man, if you've not played that game, that Joker is hard, man. I was like, I got my copy in, and I was like playing it. It's like, yeah, here I think I was representing Team Aldis taking on Nikita Koloff. And I had to message the champ. I was like, man, the streak ended today. It's like, I can't get my punch and kick combinations right. The streak came to an end.
Oh, well, let me take a quick second here, by the way, to acknowledge Vicky Farmer in the chat. Thank you for being here, Vicky. My girl, Vicky, we are not quote unquote glossing over it. I'm sorry if we did not give it enough acknowledgement. Strictly Business's reach is wide. And so Vicky Farmer here pointing out that Camille has defended her title a lot since taking it and has faced some great talent. So
Camille is the most devastating reigning champion in the world, any weight class, any country, any gender, whatever. You think about devastating champions, devastating fighting champions, look no further than Camille. No doubt about it.
It's true. Big win at Hard Times 2 versus Melina. I think here, the only reason we didn't even mention much more, but we should have actually, I mean, this is on us. Just this past weekend, Camille with a big title defense against Kylan King, Coastal Championship Wrestling, I believe. So Camille, even if they aren't all on air on the NWA, Camille's still traveling the country defending that title. So props. We can't ever find anything negative to say about Camille. She is a reigning defending champion, and perhaps I could even slap myself on the wrist too for that with the Hex. I mean, the Hex are defending all over the place as well, but Camille has defended a ton. So maybe she's the most defending champion that we've got in the National Wrestling Alliance. Fellas, what else you got for us before we wrap this show up? Or Chad, if you've got something else, throw it in now, and we can.
One little thing we're overlooking here, Gary.
Yeah,
a
Sal
matter
drank
of
blood.
Salinaro.
Sal
Oh my
drank
God!
blood.
How did I look past that? Oh my God! Sal would be just so disappointed.
That's
You know what, Sal?
that literally is the elephant in the room today.
The man drank blood, so
Oh, so much going on this episode.
Awesome.
I forgot all of. I mean, it just was. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I was even going to clip it out, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to get past the YouTube censors.
Yeah, legit. You have to put it,
Honestly, I wasn't sure Tom
black and
Latimer's
white.
comments would get past the censors, but it did. So
Sal Renaro purposefully took a choke slam for Jedias, acted like a dog in the middle of the ring, and Drake
licked his boots. No, he ain't kissed nothing. He licked his boots. He clenched them. He clenched them boots with his mouth.
Yeah, and then Drake, as the minister put it, the blood of the beast, and so to prove his devotion. So Sal taking a sharp turn from Daddy Dills and headed right into Sinister Minister territory. That cannot mean good things for anybody who has a match with Sal Renaro coming up.
I'm kind of speechless. I mean, that was one of those moments that I'm like, am I watching wrestling or what is happening? It was genuinely disturbing, but we've kind of seen this coming for a little while from Sal. I mean, he's been kind of on the brink of snapping for a while. He's had opportunities going back to even, a couple of seasons ago in Power where he had a TV title opportunity. And then he had a run-in with Colby Carino and got injured right before that. And it just seems like, how much more could he take at this point? Now, I did not see him going this route. I could see him getting frustrated, threatening to retire or go somewhere, something like that. But for him to just snap and, go to the dark side, so to speak, and drink blood and want to be part of, this organization with Jedias and the Sinister Minister, that's disturbing. So, but he did it. So I guess we'll see what that looks like now.
One clip I wish I had, guys, was another thing getting brought up in the chat. There is Front Row, our boy Front Row, mentioning Trevor and Bully from Busted Open today. Well, we see that matchup. Trevor Murdoch apparently just bowing up to Bully, and Bully not backing down. And there was some disgruntled discussion between the two of them, and it would be interesting to see Trevor Murdoch versus Bully Ray. I don't have any more news on that, but that is definitely something to keep your eye on. Bully Ray showing up in the National Wrestling Alliance would be something.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I'll have to go back and listen to that exchange.
All right. Well, guys, it's been fun. It's 8:40. The wife wants me to watch the Voice finale with her tonight, so I gotta get on that. And we love all you guys. Thank you so much to the hashtag NWA fam, every single one of you. Front Row, Vicky Farmer, thanks so much for being here. That was really special for you to show up. Certified, being out there, Eric, Brian.
Oh man, Eric Dale. I love me some Eric Dale, man.
Yeah, Damian Redmond's back out there. It's good to see some new and old faces, not like old age-wise.
Don't talk about Rob like that.
Yeah, that's
Rob,
why he
you're
wears
a very
the
young
sunglasses.
face.
Yeah, I'm not a new face.
That's why he's got those.
New face. We've got international
Trenda,
viewers.
good to see you. Yeah.
Trenda, brother Dan, the man Smith from England, watching all the way from the Queen's country.
Yeah, good day, mate.
Throw another shrimp on the barbie.
We are cultured. Trust me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. We'll be here next Tuesday, right after NWA Powerrr. Just as always, we hope you guys are having a good December and getting ready for the holiday season. We can't wait to spend some of ours with you. We love you all. Thanks for being a part of the NWA fam. And until next time, you guys all just enjoy your gravy cake.